What's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. It's the Prop Queen. We're going for the next 40 minutes or so. We'll talk NBA props for tonight. Huge slate. There is no anything really going on tomorrow aside for the Hawaii Bowl. But we've got bowl games coming up. We've got college football playoffs, NFL. We've got the big Christmas games on Thursday that mean absolutely nothing. Kelly in Vegas is going to join the show in about 5-ish minutes, and we're going to talk all of those things. You guys know I don't know college football, which is why you always have to have the yin to your yang. Kelly's got it all covered for us. Talking that college football. No show tomorrow, by the way, because it's Christmas Eve. Not that I celebrate it, but I will be filling in-ish for Kelly in Vegas on Thursday at Wager Talk so that we can break down the absolutely irrelevant football games on Thursday. What a shame. You know, NFL really tried, and maybe it was just bad karma that the NFL really tried to take over the Christmas slate for the NBA. And even though last year was a pretty big success, this year not so much. But it's okay. We're going to watch it anyway. We've got props, obviously, but I'll give those out tomorrow. I had to focus on 14-game NBA slate today, and then everyone's off tomorrow. But I couldn't get a basketball guest, so you guys have to just deal with me for today and talking about NBA props. There was huge news today in baseball. I know a lot of you want props and you want picks, and we'll get to that. Today in baseball, something happened that I said at this point I have to fly to Miami. I'm going. I have to go to the WBC. Bryce Harper announced this morning that he is going to join Team USA. Team USA is so loaded for the WBC. And I know most people aren't going to care about it because it's in the middle of March Madness. At least they planned it as well as the NBA Cup did, where the WBC is going to have its semifinals and championship when March Madness isn't going to be playing. It's going to be like Monday, Tuesday. So I'm real pumped for the WBC. I'm just going to read through the lineup real quick because who cares? I know that our next guest, Kelly in Vegas, is not going to give two craps about baseball playing in March. But it has USA on their jersey, so you have to root for them. Cal Raleigh's your starting catcher. You've got Bobby Witt Jr., Corbin Carroll will probably lead off, then Bobby Witt. Then you've got Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, Cal Raleigh, as I mentioned. Kyle Schwarber is your DH. Pete Crow Armstrong, who had a massive season. Bryce Terang, and then you're pitching. You've got Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, Logan Webb, Joe Ryan, Clay Holmes meh, but at least he could give you some distance. David Bednar and Mason Miller to close things out. It's going to be insane, and it's in Miami. And especially if you have Team Puerto Rico, those people are insane. It's going to be a big party down in Miami. The Japanese don't party, but they're going to be there. They're going to take over. We all know that. Team USA is going to start in Pool B. It's going to be in Houston. And then they move over to Miami. I just was talking to a friend of mine. I said, we have to go. I'm going to leave Vegas because I'm going to be with Kelly in Vegas for March Madness, the opening weekend. I'm going to leave Sunday, and I will 100% go to Miami for that loaded Team USA because they haven't won since 2017. If this team can't win, we might as well just blow it all up because this is our best. These are our best players outside of a few. We've got the 2 Cy Young Award winners. We've got MVPs outside of Shohei Ohtani. They have to win. I mean, we never know who Japan has. We always know who Puerto Rico has. We always know who the Dominican has. We never know who Japan has. They hide people. Then all of a sudden, they become these mega superstars in the WBC and compete with all of Team USA and the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans. Either way, it's going to be an awesome WBC because so many people are so loaded. But Team USA is one of the most stacked lineups and stacked rotations that I have seen. If only Garrett Cole didn't have to get Tommy John, and I bet you Garrett Cole would have been part of this. It's going to be a blast, though. I'm really excited, and it's going to be a crazy weekend. I hope my parents are ready to watch my dog because I will be gone for the entire week. Vegas March Madness, I can't believe it's coming up already. Super Bowl is already a little bit over a month away. NFL playoffs, thank God my Ravens probably won't be part of it, even though a friend of ours, Chris Thurston, was telling us today that he was not so thrilled about my Ravens and losing him a lot of money. I do feel bad. People kept betting the Ravens. They shouldn't. And I know you're all sick of me talking about the Baltimore Ravens. I'm sick of talking about the Baltimore Ravens. We've got NFL playoff pictures to talk about also that are going to play a big role. NFL incentives, the contract incentives going to pick up. They weren't that great this past week, which I knew week 16 was a little bit too early. Week 17 and week 18, absolutely. We need to start playing these contract incentives. What did you guys say? You'll be in Vegas the week before for your cousin's bachelor party. Is the WBC during Miami Music Week? I don't know that, Walter. Someone's going to have to tell you that. Maybe Kelly knows the answer to that. I don't know. I'm not a big music person outside of country music. So if it doesn't involve country music, which by the way is the reason Kelly and I decided we're even going to Vegas for March Madness, because we're going to go to a concert, country concert, obviously, because that's what they're like. Okay, you know what? If we're going to suffer through Vegas and March Madness, which is a marathon, not a sprint, then we have to have a good reason for going outside of each other. We thankfully did not decide to go to Lambeau Field this coming week. Because that would have been terrible to watch the Ravens and Packers and Malik Willis potentially up against Tyler Huntley potentially. No, thank you. Super Bowl prediction? I really don't know this year. I would love to see Bills Lions, but it probably won't happen. Let's bring Kelly in Vegas on the show and ask her. Kelly in Vegas, happy Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Tuesday. I'm over it. As you can tell, my hair, I quit. I was like, you know what? This is my last show of the day. I got to start cooking for Christmas.
Are you done until Christmas?
Yeah, kind of. I'm never done. I have a bunch of stuff I got to do tomorrow morning. I got to go to the wine store still. I still got to go to the butcher shop. I got to do my splashdown video. I screwed up for the first time, I think, in my life and missed a hit on Sunday morning. I had it written down on my Google calendar, but I didn't write it down on my hard calendar. I missed Jake Assman's show. You know, Jake. Yeah.
Oh,
and he was like, all right, you can make it up to me. What are you doing Christmas morning? And I'm like, you should call Ariel. She's going to already be working. Anyway, I said yes. So I got to do his show. So I'm not really off between now and Christmas. I'm just going to pretend to be. But yeah, I think
the games on Christmas in the NFL are pretty irrelevant. So there's not much to really talk about there outside of finding some players that might actually have an incentive to play.
Yeah, and guess what? I don't mean to shit on the props market or say anything bad about what you're doing, but here's the reality. 5-6 years ago, that was a great edge. Now everybody's tweeting about it. Everybody's blowing it up. And now the books are making you pay a premium for those guys. And it sucks. It's like,
here's where people don't know yet. I don't bet the incentive unless it's a good matchup for it.
Okay.
So Keenan Allen was a great matchup this week because even though the books knew he needed 3 receptions to tie for what he needed to hit his reception incentive, yet he was up against a defense that struggles against wide receivers.
There you go.
So it made sense. But if you're going to go and bet a team that's a top 5 defense in the NFL and the guy needs 5 receptions, it's probably not happening.
Or a guy is stuck with a 3rd string quarterback that I didn't even know who he was in college. I mean, there is some real... there are teams limping to week 18 right now. You mentioned Christmas. Let me back it up. I have the Niners at 20-1 to win the Super Bowl, and it's been dead to rights for months. It has been so dead. If they win the next 2 games after last night, they're in first place in the NFC. So
they control their own destiny. It's crazy.
I know. So I'm still going to hold my Niners ticket that's currently 13-1. We're going to just leave it at that. I hope that was just like the universe toying with me, being like, oh, here, you drafted all these guys in your fantasy league. We killed them all. Just everybody's dead. And now we've rejuvenated George Kittle and Brock Purdy from the dead just so you could win a Super Bowl. Here you go. We'll see if that actually plays out in my favor. But I am just completely flabbergasted that this team controls their own destiny for the 1 seed. That being said, Christmas, I'm really glad I did not go to the Broncos Chiefs game with my sister in Kansas because, wow. Like, here's the thing.
The Broncos are laying 12.5.
The Broncos should win by 40, right? The question is, do they really care? I would like to think the Chiefs, who have absolutely dominated the Broncos for basically the last decade since the Broncos have won the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes has been the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, would love to just get an easy layup win. But we've seen them sandbag it so many times against inferior teams. We saw them sandbag it week 1 versus the Titans. We saw them sandbag it on that Thursday night game versus the Raiders. I think the problem is now we're over here, we're trying to handicap these games and say, all right, third string quarterback X is only a 7-point drop off from backup quarterback Y. And it's like, do we actually know that? Do we know that? I mean,
Yanni's been making a ton of money on Bet On It on Wager Talk with you guys with these quarterbacks that we're overreacting to.
Correct. And I want to say that there is a ton of overreaction here. But we also have teams fighting for their playoff lives, right? So the Vikings are playing with a third string quarterback who we saw versus the Seahawks. That was an abomination. That was too many points. Yeah. Well, guess what? That kid got eaten alive in Seattle. Now they're playing a divisional opponent in the Lions that have less than an 8% chance of making the playoffs. This is the squarest thing ever. I think it looks like we're going to have an awful Christmas of just chalk, 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 chalk. And I'm okay with that because that will make me spend more time with my family.
Which is crazy because all the chalk is on essentially the away teams.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the division,
like a home.
Divisional road favorites. And I mean, like, I was looking and I'm like, okay, I cannot take the Steelers because if your Ravens lose on Saturday night, they have nothing to play for on Sunday. And the Browns have been showing some semblance of a team effort here, right? They put up a fight against the Bills again last week. Does that mean Shedeur Sanders throws a couple picks or anything like that, it's going to go sideways? Do the Steelers want to beat their divisional rival? Sure. But Mike Tomlin might say, hey, guess what? You're sitting for the playoffs. Hey, you're only playing 2 quarters. Some of these defensive guys don't want to be hurt limping into the playoffs. There's a lot here to unpack. My other option is the Bucs. I don't like the Bucs here, especially with the Panthers back on deck.
And you're sitting on a Panthers division ticket.
I'm sitting here on a Panthers division ticket. So that's a whole nother argument. I'm like, I'm just going to go Cowboys on Christmas, and I'm going to know by 4 p.m. Eastern whether I'm out of this survivor pool I've been in that started week 7 on Splash and whether I'm just going to completely be livid. But I'm sorry, if Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys go into Washington and lose to a third string quarterback, oh, well, there's nothing I can do.
No.
There's 188 of us left. I was trying to look at some of the availability matrix, and it's just a lot because there's several guys that have multiple plays. If the Bills would have lost, a lot of those guys would have been eliminated. A lot of those guys had the Bucs last week. So they're down to 3-4 entries. Well, I'm down to 1. So I've got to be a little bit more ballsy than they do going into these last 2 weeks that are double pick weeks. So I'm going Bengals and Cowboys, but I would not be shocked to see one of these third string quarterbacks somehow get a win.
Or cover a huge spread like that. I mean, 2 teams catching touchdowns, 1 catching almost 2.
The whole world is going to walk up to the window, pick up their phone. Nobody walks up to the window anymore. They're going to pick up their phone.
And I feel bad if someone decided to spend their Christmas in Vegas for this shit slate.
They're going to go Dallas, Detroit, Denver, done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Over and over and over and over again.
Speaking of favorites, Craig Abel says, do you like the Niners to beat the Bears and cover at -3?
Yeah, sure, Craig. I've loved betting against the Bears every single week this year. It's been one of my favorite bets, and it's been so well for me. Let me tell you. Yeah, of course. Off that crazy comeback last week versus the Packers, this is a total letdown spot
for the Bears that have been pretty tough.
Here's the reality. The Niners have the Seahawks for the division on deck. Does this if they beat the Bears, then they'll have the 1 seed in the NFC. Does this Bears team get a turnover or 2? That's basically how these games have flipped for the Bears. Do they commit a turnover? Why they lost in Lambeau the first time? Do they get a wonky turnover to go their way and win the game? And your guess is as good as mine. I want to look at the injury reports. I mean, it's Tuesday. Usually today's my day off, and I am going to get my nails done, going to get my hair done, doing all these other important things. And I'm over here trying to guess if the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have 4 offensive linemen playing. I don't know.
Or some of their defensive stars. Like, why would Chris Jones want to play?
But contractually, some of these guys may be playing, like you mentioned, incentives. They may be playing for a new position. Maybe their contract is up for renewal or looking to go to a better team. it is hard to quantify these things, especially this early in the week. I'm waiting for Friday. I'm waiting for I'm going to have zero, besides the one Survivor, I'm having zero action on Thanksgiving, Christmas.
I keep saying Thanksgiving too.
Because it's on a Thursday and it's weird. It's weirding me out.
Because it's on a Thursday. I keep saying it's Thanksgiving. Craig also said, because there is one player we know is out, Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf. How does that change the way you see Pittsburgh, even if they don't need the game, even if the Ravens end up losing that game on Saturday? But let's just say the Ravens win Saturday. That means Pittsburgh has to win. But they're on the road in Cleveland, a team that they always tend to lose to at least once a year.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list from John Murray, which is basically nothing. And the only sharp thing that anybody played in the NFL so far before we filmed an hour ago, Cleveland plus 4.5.
Well, it makes sense, because if you want to get ahead of, obviously that line goes cuckoo if the Ravens lose. But if the Ravens win on Saturday, Pittsburgh has to play.
It's kind of getting to that point of the year, right? It's no different than college football right now, right? I don't know what the final score is, but I have Toledo plus 8.5, which is just an atrocious number. I thought it was a great number when let's look and see. Oh, look! They have a shot to win it. Shocking. They were down, I want to say like 21-3 at one point in time. But I was like, oh, cool. I got the 8.5 early. Then it goes to 7. And then, oh, by the way, today somebody just shoves it to 12.5. Like, I was like, John, what happened? He goes, oh, yeah, we took a lot of short money on Louisville today. Oh, I bet you did. Great. This is maddening. And I understand that everybody wants action. They want it to be like it used to be, where my TV is on in my office from mid-December to mid-January, bowl games, college basketball, so forth. Not going to do it. I am going to unsubscribe from this BS because we have ruined college football bowl games.
I was going to ask that, because
almost unbettable.
You are one of those people that does like to have action. I know you.
Yeah.
And now that we have not only just a college football playoff, we've had an expanded college football playoff. How much does that impact you watching and betting on these bowl games?
I think it's so much more than the college football playoff. It's the transfer portal, which has been going on for several years. It's now NIL. And this is the interesting thing. They've got to change the coaching timeline. So these coaches are leaving early before these bowl games, either because, like Lane Kiffin, get out, don't let the door hit you in the ass, go to LSU. We don't need you. Or it's guys like Summerall, who's spending half his time in New Orleans, half his time in Gainesville, trying to manage, and then they get their doors blown off. And it's like, why are we being subjected to this? The reality is there's got to be an answer to it, but I think we're too far gone. And so I'm looking for bowl games. Like, I bet Georgia Tech plus 4.5 in the Pop-Tarts Bowl over BYU. BYU had a lot of stuff going on the last month. Kalani Sitake being basically told, Steve Thurston was like, I was told it was a done deal until the crumble cookie guy got involved. Supposedly, I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't in those meetings, but Kalani Sitake, done deal to Penn State. Whoops, psych, never mind. Gets blown out in the Big 12 championship game and then gets snubbed in the college football playoff. How much do they care? I will say this, no one's opting out. No one's really transferring. There's a lot to unpack there, but I can say the same thing about Georgia Tech. Haynes King has been a great underdog bet for the last couple of years. I'm going to take advantage of it one more time. And then I laid 3 with Clemson, and I was laughing in our group chat with Sammy P because John Murray goes, oh, Sammy P gave me Clemson -3. And I go, oh, did he? I wonder where the hell he got it from. He's like, oh, I didn't know he got it from you. And then Sammy's like, I didn't get it from you. I'm like, oh, you got it from CT. My bad. You got it from Chris. And listen, Chris and I were like, hell yes. Clemson -3 up to 6 because it moved up to 6 because all the Penn State guys that were going to opt out. We got a text from a buddy that was like, hey, Penn State is going to lose a ton of guys. Matt Campbell coming in. They're going to clean house. Guess what? Now it's all the way back down to 3 because Clemson is now doing the same thing after I was told those kids were happy. They wanted to play for Dabo. Now it appears they do not. So I've got way too much money on Clemson -3. And I'm probably just going to lay some of it off and eat the juice because that is going to be the reality of college bowl season unless you're getting the best of the information, which for about a week I had. Now I don't have. Or you are getting the best of the number, which I'm not even sure matters. You could have got the best of the number on Louisville. You could have Louisville -7, I think. Maybe it was 7.5, 7. Doesn't look like they're going to cover any of those numbers. So I don't mean to sit here and bitch on your show. I'm just kind of sad.
Anyway, it's okay.
I'm kind of sad. Like this used to be like,
because especially bowl season being what it was even 5 years ago, like you said, there were so many edges to bet in the college football bowl season.
Do you remember Western Michigan +7? I almost got broken up over this game. Almost like Brett was ready to end it all.
I was at the Knicks game when you guys got in a huge fight.
Yeah, because I didn't share with him, and Sammy P called him, and he was like, "Why am I hearing this?" I'm like, "Well, sorry, you're in Vegas, and you never bet the stuff I get anyway." Anyway, that line.
Anyone else almost break up with their significant other over not sharing information about betting college bowl games?
It was Western Michigan +7. They closed a 7-point favorite, and they won by 24. It did not matter. It did not matter. I guess that's what I loved so much was like getting that information, being privy to those things and taking advantage of it and it making me money. And those edges are gone. So now your options are to not bet them at all, to bet them for less money. That's all. We'll see. I'd like to see an expanded college football playoff with real teams, not named James Madison or Tulane, get in. And fine, if you want to let them in when we have, I don't know, 24 teams or something, no problem. But like the fact that BYU's sitting at home, the fact that Vanderbilt's sitting at home, that Texas, I mean, other highly rated, powered teams, Notre Dame, whatever. It is what it is. At least Notre Dame made sense to me, Ariel, because they lost to both teams that got in. That's the only thing. I am not saying power ratings wise it made sense.
The argument was that they were still better than some teams.
And they are. And they are. They progressed throughout the season better. That being said, you got to beat teams head to head.
Yeah.
I didn't think Alabama deserved to get in, and then they came back from a 17-point deficit to beat Oklahoma and proved me wrong. Maybe Oklahoma didn't deserve to get in. That could be the next argument. And we just go round and round and round. I think they need to expand it. I think it's got a lot of potential. It's just not enough. And if they are going to kill the bowls for it, we need to do that. And we also need to move back when the portal and the coaching changes because they have to get ready for spring ball. These kids have to enroll by, I think, like January 3rd. How are you going to do that when you're playing in a bowl game for another team on December 31st? You're not going to. The math isn't mathing. The NCAA is just allowing it to be the wild, wild west. I mean, look at K-State's defense. I was just going to text Chris in our group chat and be like, congratulations. Your defense is going to suck ass next year just to be awful. I don't think they're going to suck, but they got our defensive coordinator and they're going to have half of our defensive players have now decided they're going to transfer. Well, of course they're going to follow their other coach. And Baylor's got tons of money. I don't know. I hope they suck. I hope they all suck. That's what, that's basically what I do. You leave my school, I cheer against you. It is what it is.
Yeah, you guys will hate each other more, and the bet is just gonna whatever. As long as I get my dinner paid for at Barry's, then I'll be fine. College football playoff, though, we do have games that actually do matter. Those aren't going to be till New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Which line stood out to you?
Yeah, John Murray asked, and one of the questions was in the chat on our show, hey, which underdog do you like the best? And I'm like, I don't like any of the underdogs. That's so weird for me, right?
Yeah.
Texas Tech technically is an underdog. I can tell you right now, Oregon -1 got played. John Murray gave it to me on the show. So I've kind of thought, I looked at using Texas Tech in my college football playoff survivor on Splash. I may have to look otherwise. I like Indiana -7. Ole Miss +7 was sharp. He told me down to 6.5 there at the Westgate Superbook. That's not good because I have a futures bet on Georgia. Miami, Ohio State. Yanni told me this morning he laid 7.5 this morning. I just looked.
I feel like everyone's going to be on Miami because of what they saw last week.
Yeah, and why? That was the worst. You want to hear about bitching? I'm like doing stuff around my dad's house. That was the worst football game I've watched. I was like, I'm so glad we killed bowl season for these two teams to beat the crap out of each other with a feather pillow. Like, it was awful. It was an awful, awful game. And Miami's going to get their doors blown off. And I said before they announced that they were in, I was like, I hope they put them in so I could bet against them. But I was also going to bet against Texas A&M because all of their staff is leaving. Now I'm just going to bet against Miami this week. But now I just looked on the odds logic screen and the lines moved 2 points. Went from 7.5 to 9.5. And I'm going, okay, great. All right. Well, you snooze, you lose. I'm done complaining.
It's okay. We like complaining.
It's like therapy right now. It's got to get it out.
Especially when you've got so much stress over not knowing news. And that's unfortunately the NFL hasn't been helpful in that.
I think you're right. I think I just hate being wrong. And so it pisses me off even more. Like when I get good information.
Already, so it's so hard to you could have all the information in the world and it could still be tough to win. But when you don't have all the information, hence the NBA changing their rules and announcing injury reports, because it was ridiculous. I mean, I was handicapping the NBA today. I'm frustrated because there are star players who are always questionable and you just don't even know why. They're just questionable.
Well, I mean, if we're just talking about the NBA, that's why it's unbettable and unwatchable till at least mid-April. I don't even try. I mean, Jake, the text I got, it was like NFL, NBA, college football playoff. And I was like, you better bring Ariel on to talk NBA. If you think I've watched a single NBA game this year, and I know they've been trying to do different things with the NBA Cup. And then obviously with the guys that were breaking some rules by, betting their own player props and having their buddies bet, all that stuff. Like that is going to make you lose consumer confidence in wanting to put your hard-earned money on something that is potentially rigged. So call me in April. Call me when the college basketball season's over, and maybe I will put some hard-earned money on the NBA. But until that time, I'm out.
Yeah, you get bored at that time and you don't like baseball. But WBC, Team USA.
I just looked. It's the week before we go to Vegas.
What's the week? Well, WBC semis are the night we would leave Vegas. But like they're the night that day, Sunday. And
why is it in Miami and Houston?
They're just splitting them up between. It's pool play at first, and then it goes into the
is it
semis.
Like soccer? Don't try to explain it to me if it's like soccer.
It's pool play first, but it's really cool because not only is it Houston and Miami, it's also, I think, Puerto Rico and Japan. So they're trying to spread it across so that like Team Japan could start in Japan, Puerto Rico could start in Puerto Rico.
Okay. There's not like Team Dominican Republic. I would go to the Dominican Republic.
There is, but I don't think they're playing there. I think it's Puerto Rico, Japan, and America.
They should hire me. I'll market them.
But if you send Team Dominican Republic to Miami, it's like the same thing.
Rude.
Why?
The Dominican Republic is amazing. I need to go back. Now I want a vacation.
Well, we all need a vacation, and at least it's not Lambeau Field on Saturday.
Oh my gosh. John was like, why would you guys even consider it? Do you know how cold it's going to be? And I'm like, yeah,
it would be fun if they both were going to be good and needed to win.
It's still fun. Your adrenaline keeps you warm for at least the first half.
This team's not fun. I said the Ravens, I'm done spending any kind of money on them unless they're in the Super Bowl. Done.
Okay.
They're not going to be in the Super Bowl, so.
Well, not this year, but.
Probably not next year either.
Oh, man. You better hurry up. You guys just paid Lamar. TikTok.
I don't know. We'll see who they fire. They got to fire somebody.
All right, you didn't answer me on Twitter. If you did, it didn't show me notifications.
What?
The app sucks. What do you think about Harbaugh? Are you over it? Do you want him canned?
I'm over Harbaugh the way I'm over Aaron Boone. Do I think they fire him? I don't know.
Do you want him fired? Like maybe you're not as vindictful as me, where I'm like, fire everybody.
Well, I said fire everybody. They definitely have to fire. Here's what I don't understand. John Harbaugh did a press conference yesterday where they asked him about Derrick Henry. Why didn't you run him more in the fourth quarter? And he said, I wish I did. And it's like, well, you're the coach. So why didn't you? Like, is this all just because Monken is making those decisions and you don't? Like, you're the head coach. Why is Derrick Henry not running the football in the fourth quarter?
Especially if it's working.
Yeah. No, and it's happened many times, not just with Monken. So it is. Here's the thing. We saw this happen with Andy Reid in Philly, right? Where the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl.
It's not enough.
He's still a great head coach, and he ended up going on to win Super Bowls with the Chiefs.
Okay.
The same could be said for Harbaugh. I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think that there are certain.
Well, I think 90% of the NFL teams would take him.
Absolutely. I think he's a great coach, and he could still go somewhere and win. I just think sometimes your culture is done.
That, and look at Andy Reid in Philly, like you said. Sometimes getting fired lights a fire into your ass and you make changes. I think a lot of coaches are way, way too loyal to some of these guys. Way too loyal to some of their staff members. And it's like, to a fault, you cannot be. I have a dog who decided to just come into my office. Reed? Oh, yeah. I told you, this dog did not even like me for the first 2 years. She lived in my home, and I went and got a Frenchie, and now she's resting her head on my lap.
Oh, Reese, I love her. She's so pretty. I'll let you
Thank
go.
God she's pretty because
I
she's
didn't want to make
dumb.
you overstay your welcome, but thank you for coming on.
No, absolutely. Anytime. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas.
Oh,
Don't
do you have any
say
splash
Hanukkah 'cause it's-
contests going on this weekend?
Not yet. So we are going to do an NFL playoff splash contest, but I said wait till after Christmas, you guys. I got to film a video. We got to kind of change it up a little bit. I think I'm going to do $25. I forget that $100 is a lot to a lot of people for gambling, right? Like if your bankroll for the entire season is $1,000 and I'm asking you to give me 10% of it for a college football playoff that looked like it just did in the first round, it's probably not going to fill. So I think we're going to do a $25, probably $100,000 guaranteed. Don't quote me on that. As soon as I get with the splash guys, I will get it up and get it sent out.
For college football or NFL?
NFL.
Okay, NFL. Make sure to check that out over at Kelly in Vegas. All her splash contests are a lot of fun, and you can make a lot of money. Cal, thanks for coming on. Merry Christmas.
Thanks. Merry Christmas.
We've got edges of the day. We've got propaganda. Let's talk some NBA for tonight. I'm going to tweet it out real quick. NBA prop queen edges on now. And you guys know that you can always follow Kelly over at Kelly in Vegas on X and Instagram. She is the best and my best friend. Most bet on props of the day over at BetMGM. It is a propaganda. Okay, I don't know why it's being weird today. Most bet on props over at BetMGM. Denny Avdija under 15.5 total assists and rebounds. Mark Williams over his points, rebounds, and assists. Michael Porter Jr. over his points and rebounds. Kel'el Ware over 26.5 points and rebounds. And Mike Kamara under 2.5 3-pointers made. These are my prop queen edges of the day, which were given out at thepropqueen.com. And everyone stay tuned. I have a free giveaway for Christmas that I'm going to be giving out for you guys coming up at the end of the show. So make sure to stay tuned to listen to that and the Royal Locks of the Day. I worked hard on it, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. It's free for anyone who subscribes to thepropqueen.com. So make sure to take a look and stay tuned to listen up. Starting with, again, prop queen edges of the day in the NBA. Big slate tonight. And by the way, I also just didn't bet any large spreads. I stayed away from teams who have good defenses, essentially, on the second leg of a back-to-back. On the second leg of a back-to-back, I only like to bet on teams that are going to struggle defensively, not teams that are good, that are going to be tired. So I stay away from those. So any large spreads. And then I did want to bet something in the Pels game, but we weren't sure about Zion Williamson on the second leg of a back-to-back. Go figure. So starting with this game between two terrible defense, well, the Wizards being a terrible defense. Charlotte Hornets laying 5.5 at home against the Wizards. Total 232.5. These are two teams that are on the second leg of a back-to-back. For the Hornets, Miles Bridges, over 20.5 points. I love this. He's averaging just under 23 points per game at home on the second leg of a back-to-back. He's cleared this number in 7 of his last 10 at home on the second leg of a back-to-back. Against the Wizards since 2023, Miles Bridges averaging just under 24 points a game. He's actually gone over in 5 of 7, 2 of the 3 at home against Washington. The Wizards allowed the second most points per game in the league. Bridges has had just 17 last night against Cleveland. So this is, LaMelo carried the load last night with Knipple. It's going to switch. Miles Bridges tonight, offensive leader, over 20.5 points at home. Brandon Miller over 2.5 threes. It's pretty juiced. He's averaging 2.5 made threes at home. He's made just over 1 more 3 per game at home this season than on the road. Miller's made at least 3 threes in 5 of his last 6 second legs of a back-to-back, so I don't need to worry about him being tired. Against Washington, Miller's had 3, 2, and 4 3-pointers. The Wizards allowed the second most made threes per game. Over the last 10 games, 63% of small forwards have cashed their 3-point prop against the Wizards. So again, with LaMelo Ball and Knipple going deep last night from outside, Miller should benefit tonight for the Hornets. Bulls at Hawks. Hawks laying 4, total 252.5. Everyone loves to bet Trae Young over on assists or over on points, but we are forgetting that Trae Young over rebounds plus assists can be very profitable. Dyson Daniels is out tonight. I'm going to show you guys a graphic of why that matters. Props.cash. Again, remember, you can always go props.cash using promo code PropQueen, 50% off your first month, and you can get these charts. This is Trae Young without Dyson Daniels, his last 10 home games. Rebounds plus assists. That is a ton of green. He's averaging just under 14 rebounds plus assists in those spots. Gone over an 8 of 10. The Bulls allowed the 7th most rebounds plus assists per game. The last meeting, which was, I think, they just played 2 nights ago on Sunday. Trae Young had 35 points, 1 rebound, 9 assists. But no Dyson Daniels. So your game plan should change. We're going to go to take the over on rebounds plus assists for Trae Young, who's going to have to make up for some kind of loss of the great defender of Dyson Daniels. Not that Trae Young's a great defender, but my point is he could go up and grab some boards clearly without him, and we don't have to worry too much about the assists because Trae Young is always dishing the ball out. Scotty Barnes over his 8.5 rebounds tonight. I usually hate betting the Toronto Raptors in any capacity, but RJ Barrett's out, and that was an injury that we could take advantage of. Heat laying 5.5, total 228.5. Barnes over his rebounds. So against teams that are bottom 10 in rebounding, so bottom, allowing some of the most rebounds per game in the NBA, Barnes is averaging anywhere between 9 to 11 per game. He's hit, so let's see, there was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games this year where the Raptors faced a team that's bottom 10 in rebounds allowed. Scotty Barnes, out of those games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of those games, he went over. 9 of 12 went over 8.5 rebounds. It's pretty damn good. He's actually averaging more rebounds on the road this year. Just under 9 a game without RJ Barrett. Miami's allowing the 3rd most rebounds per game. Clearwater's not that good. It's so crazy because they have Ware and Adebayo, and Bam was actually doing a better job at limiting opposing bigs from rebounding. But Clearwater's the center position, so it's going to be a really good spot for Scotty Barnes, who's going to be able to take advantage on the boards if it's Khalil Ware, which it is, and Bam's going to be more of the offensive weapon for Miami tonight. Knicks and T-Wolves, revenge spot for Julius Randle, over 20.5 points. Julius Randle, he's averaging just over 21 points a game in 3 against the Knicks. 2 of those were with 24 and 32 points. The Knicks are going to be without Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby, and losing Anunoby is a big loss defensively. The Knicks also have to play their big, famous Christmas Day game at noon on Thursday. So that's at the Garden, of course. If there's a spot to back Randall, it's here in Minnesota in a revenge spot against his former team, the New York Knicks. Take him over 20.5 points. I'll talk about the Cat revenge angle in a little bit because there is a good trend to know about Cat, why I'm going to not play him in his revenge spot. That's coming up after this last terrible game of the night, Grizzlies and Jazz. The Grizzlies laying 3.5, total 243.5. Both of these teams are also on the second leg of a back-to-back, so we're going to take advantage of the worst defense in the NBA. But starting with Lauri Markkanen, over 2.5 threes. I was a little hesitant about this. I probably won't actually get to the window on it, but it's worth noting. He is coming off an injury that kept him out for a couple of games, but Markkanen is the team's leading three-point shooter. He actually shoots better from home, shocker. On second legs of a back-to-back, Markkanen's averaging 3 threes a game, and he's gone over pretty much he's gone over in majority of his last 10. But Grizzlies allow the 4th most made threes. Against the weak perimeter defense, I'm going to trust Markkanen more than Keontae George. So we're going to go Markkanen over 3s. But Jaren Jackson Jr. is my favorite play of this game, over 20.5 points. On the second leg of a back-to-back, there's no Ja Morant tonight for Memphis. No Ja. Second leg of a back-to-back, Jaren Jackson Jr. has gone over 20.5 points. He's averaging 26 points a game without Ja on a second leg, 22 with him. He's gone over in 8 of his last 10 second legs without Ja, dating back to last year. Utah allows the most points per game in the NBA. 62% of power forwards have gone over this in the last 10 games when facing Utah. I know that the only other game this year on the second leg of a back-to-back that Jaren Jackson Jr. played without Ja Morant, it was against Boston, the second best defense in the NBA this year. So we're going to go and say Utah is not Boston. Jaren Jackson Jr. I actually should add this to the best bets list. I didn't, but I should have. I should have added this. I'm going to bet it. I haven't even bet anything yet because I've just been an idiot and trying to get out this free thing that I'm giving you guys for Christmas that I think is going to be super helpful for everybody. So again, I'm going to tell you guys about that in a second before best bets and royal locks. I just have been working on that all day. So, and I'm trying to add stuff to the YouTube. I'll tell you about the direction we're going in 2026. The trend to know though is cat under points. I was on props.cash today playing around, and I'll show you guys. I'll share my screen. I was playing around with props.cash. I was trying to figure out what are the edges. There's no Jalen Brunson. There's no OG Anunoby. Cat's gotta have an edge, right? Like I'm looking for it. I'm looking everywhere for it. And I found the edge. This is Trae Young. Karl Anthony Towns. Points without OG Anunoby and without Jalen Brunson in the last 10. Why isn't it showing up? Oh, because I'm showing you the wrong thing. Duh. This is Cat in the last 10 games without Jalen Brunson and without OG Anunoby. That's a lot of freaking red for a 27.5 points prop. Again, I'm staying away because it's a revenge spot, and I will not fade a revenge spot. Minnesota was the team Cat played his entire career for till last year. It's in Minnesota. Obviously, he's familiar. Obviously, he's going to want to play hard. But, like, if you look at the rebounds, it's better. Assists, meh. Points plus rebounds is still low because he doesn't score. Rebounds plus assists is okay, but it's mostly the rebounding. So rebounds is more of the play, but again, like, I'm not loving it. I looked at the head-to-head matchup. 1-1 against Minnesota. So I just didn't love much with Cat today because I can't be betting a 27.5 points prop if you've gone under that in 9 of the last 10 games when Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby are out. So to stay away from our guy Cat. Here's what I've been working on. And again, I'll get to royal locks, tell you guys the best bets in a sec. Oh, no, didn't mean to do that. So, wait, let me stop sharing the screen real quick. So, I've been working on this, like, free thing that I think is going to really help people. Giving something away for free right now. Tune in. If you're a subscriber to thepropqueen.com, you'll get this in 15 minutes in your inbox. If you're not, go over to thepropqueen.com, go to the newsletter and subscribe. It'll be in your intro email when you first get the email at thepropqueen.com. It'll be right there in your welcome to the Prop Queen Sports email. Let me share downloads. I've been working on this. It's a prop betting checklist. So basically, it's everything that I do before I place a bet. I look through defensive matchup. Is it a good or bad matchup? Is the player good or bad against teams that are good defenses, bad defenses? Like, do you perform better against a bad defense? Do they perform worse against a good defense? If it's neutral, then I leave it alone. Home road splits. Historical performances against the team. Are they good, bad, indifferent against them in matchups? Blowout risk. Is the point spread too big? Is there going to be a blowout that we lose minutes? I don't like to lay minus 150 or more. So if it's anything more than minus 150, I stay away. And then it's the honesty test, which is my favorite part of this whole thing. Did I do enough research that if this loses, I'm okay with it? Because it checked all the boxes. So this is a way, you know how they've said before that we should have mental health checks, right? On, let's just say, and I know this is controversial, but like police, right? That people think that police officers should have this mental checklist. Like, did I get into a fight with my wife today? Am I mentally okay to head out onto the field? Am I level-headed? Am I this? People really wanted that to, and they actually have in some of the police stations, they actually have put that in. Well, this isn't as extreme as detrimental to someone else in the public world, but it's detrimental to you. At the Prop Queen, I'm going to start focusing a lot more, and I'm not going to stop doing the live stream and my long list of props. I love doing that for everybody. I want to make people money, but I also want to make everybody a better. So if we can help everybody get better research, better tools for research, then that's going to just help you guys be better on your own. If I take a day off, I don't need to sweat because I'm going to give you guys a helpful tool to help you guys bet the same exact way that I do, which is also why we partner with props.cash and why we have the promo code so that you guys can use props.cash the way I do. And even if like you have any friends who need what? Yeah. Okay. I don't know. My mom just texted me because she's watching the show. Hi, Mom. And happy birthday to Iris, by the way. Tell everybody happy birthday to Iris. She just confused me in her text. But it's for friends too, obviously, which is, I think, the point Iris was trying to make. That if you guys have any friends that also just want to kind of get better at gambling, it's free. You just have to subscribe to thepropqueen.com, and it's free. So this will come to your inbox. But I'm doing a lot more of these kinds of things. If you subscribe to thepropqueen.com, giving free subscribers helpful betting tools, and then also giving paying subscribers more helpful betting tools. I'm trying to work on the cheat sheet like I did last week. All premium subscribers at the newsletter, you guys get the cheat sheet for free. And you could also pay for the cheat sheet if you would like it. So I just love giving you guys all these helpful tools to continue to make you guys better bettors as well. A lot of things to come in 2026 to make it way more of a research tool, not just, hey, here are my picks. I don't want to be a pick selling service. That's never my intention. My intention is to help make you guys smarter. With that said, let's get to some picks. But this is for free on YouTube at the Prop Queen Media spot on YouTube channel. So Prop Queen Media on YouTube. You guys can definitely check it out. And I'm going to be posting a lot more of those tutorials as well. How to use the cheat sheet, how to use the checklist, how to use props.cash, how to use Pickit. All these things that you could use to be better bettors, gonna put tutorials. They're all free on the Prop Queen Media YouTube channel. They're not there yet, but I'm gonna work on them some point today or tomorrow. Iris says, thanks everyone, so sweet. And Iris is on YouTube now too. You can check her out at Nutrition Improvement Center. I'm helping Iris get better at YouTube. She's doing anything. So if you guys have anyone who has any, she's a dietitian. So eating disorders is her specialty. And if you guys have anybody that you know, anyone you love, if you struggle with it yourself and you have questions about eating disorders, she's answering all your questions over at the YouTube page. Ariel, why do you not charge for your services? I do-ish, but I'm working on creating something really cool for the Prop Queen brand that isn't just about this. It's going to be kind of like a school. I'm going to call it the Prop Queen method. And we're going to create a whole system of helping you guys learn more about betting. And I even have ideas for creating like webinars. If everyone, I don't know if you guys would be interested in webinars. I was thinking for the Super Bowl of doing a webinar with some of the greatest handicappers that we have. And before each season, to which I know that oh, Mom corrected. Disordered eating and eating disorder. So go give her a follow at Nutrition Improvement Center. But for all of you guys that probably struggle like I do before a new season starts. For example, baseball season starting March, April. I always I'm like, okay, I need a refresher on how to handicap this sport. Or maybe you just don't know how to handicap the sport that well and you want to learn. Before each season, before each big event. So before the Super Bowl, have a webinar. Before March Madness starts, have a webinar. Before baseball starts, have a webinar. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, I would definitely love to do it. Bring on a lot of handicappers. It's not about giving picks. It's about teaching you guys how to handicap it yourself in a better and more profitable way. I do not have staff under me. I do everything on my own. Everything is on my own. We'll do them in person at some point. You got to start somewhere, guys. You got to start somewhere. You guys are giving my mom way too much ammo. She thinks that I'm a millionaire and that I could go and just do things like this. We need to build the Prop Queen brand. We have to build what we're going to do for teaching you guys how to be better at this. And don't give a fish, teach them how to fish. I agree. That's what I want to do. That's a great line, John Mack, by the way. Don't give a fish, teach them how to fish. That's exactly what the goal is here. And that's exactly the way I'm going to pivot with Prop Queen in 2026. Again, the live stream will still be alive and well. We'll still be giving out the best props of the day. I'll still be giving the long list out to premium subscribers on the newsletter. But I'm also going to be providing a lot of really helpful tools for bettors so that they can learn how to fish, not just hand you the fish. Thanks, John Mack. It's time for Royal Locks of the day. Let's get to my best bets. Royal Locks. Royal Locks of the day. I said I'm going to add JJJ, but I'm going to start with Trae Young over on his rebounds plus assists. These teams just played on Sunday. Chicago won 152-150, but the context is really different. Dyson Daniels is out. In Trae's last 10 home games without Dyson Daniels, he's gone over this in 8 of those 10 games, averaging just under 14 rebounds plus assists. The Bulls are allowing the 7th most rebounds, the 7th most assists. And in the last meeting a couple of nights ago, when Trae Young went off for 35 points, he did have 9 assists. It's never the assists we're worried about with Trae. It's the rebounds. And at this point, I do think his rebounds will go up against this Bulls team that does not rebound the ball well. So we're going to go over on rebounds plus assists for Trae Young. Miles Bridges over 20.5 points. He's averaging just under 23 points a game on the second leg of a back-to-back at home. LaMelo Ball just went off last night. He was the leading scorer for the team. Now they switch roles. Miles Bridges is going to do it, who's averaging just under 24 points a game against the Wizards. The Washington Wizards allowed the 2nd most points per game in the league. Jaren Jackson Jr., I'm adding to this list, over 20.5 points against the worst defense in the NBA. Utah allows the most points per game. On the second leg of a back-to-back without Ja Morant, who is out tonight, JJJ averaging just under 26 points a game. He's gone over in 8 of the last 10 without Ja on the second leg, dating back to last year. We're going over 20.5 points. Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight, and I hope I didn't miss any of these lines because I didn't bet them yet. But you'll see that I do on Pickett Sports over at the Prop Queen. Earl Burton, it's a process, Iris. It's a process. But it is Iris's birthday, so no giving crap to Iris today. We are at Iris's service all day, which is why I'm dressed up. We are going to a nice dinner tonight. She already got her present. If you missed it, it was the JCPenney photo shoot. And if you missed it, it's on my Instagram, so check it out at Ari Epst. But again, for everybody who's a Prop Queen subscriber, in 5 minutes, the checklist is going to be in your inbox. Whether you're a free subscriber, whether you're a premium subscriber, you get the free checklist right to your inbox right now. If you are not a Prop Queen subscriber, head over to thepropqueen.com. It's thepropqueen.com. Go to newsletter, submit your email, and you will get the checklist in your introductory email. That first email you get, as soon as you subscribe, you will get an email saying, "Welcome to Prop Queen." And that will include the checklist right there in your email. So I really appreciate you guys. No show tomorrow because there's like nothing on. So Thursday, I will be on Wager Talk's Last Call. We will go through all the games leading up to noon Eastern time. So make sure to check out Wager Talk's Last Call on Thursday because remember, everybody, thank your Jewish friends who work on Christmas Eve and Christmas. We work. We work for you to enjoy your Christmas. If I don't get to see or speak to you guys, Merry Christmas Eve, thanks to John Mack. Merry Christmas Eve. Tomorrow, Merry Christmas Eve. Thursday, Merry Christmas. I will see you guys all on Christmas Day, talking all you need to know about your betting day on Thursday. Good luck tonight in the NBA. I hope you enjoyed Kelly in Vegas segment and learned a little bit about college football and how much she hates the Bulls now that we have a college football playoff. See you guys on Thursday.